So this is how to make a cam or gusset cam. So we're gonna start off with going to fabrication and then going to the nest feature because we want to create 24 of these on one plate. So we go to nest and then we choose 24 because that's the number of gussets we want. Then that should be good. And then output, we want to include the stock so that we can see what we're actually working with. And then we also have to change this to oh no, it's already inches. And then we have to go to the library, and if it's not already changed, I have it automatically to 12 and 10 because that's what our machine allows, like that's the limits of the machine. So if we go from this side, this is where we'll be standing, and this is like the sides of the machine. Yeah. And also we need to change the space between the gussets. So if you go to nest here and go to edit and global parameters, we can override it and change item separation to 0.063. And then if we have to go back to milling and basically create a setup. I'm going to delete this one. And we're going to choose our origin, so Z and X. Z being this one, and then the X edge being, this is the X edge, so we're going to choose here. We're going to choose stock box origin as our origin, and the origin for plates is going to be in the center at the top. So on here, it's the center and the top dot. And we're going to make sure that the X is this way, Y is that way, and Z is up. And for choosing the models, we have to basically select all of them. And then for post-process, we'll number that and then change it to 1. Right, so now we're going to do the spot drilling because spot drill basically allows the drill to be centered while it's like about to cut. If we don't have the spot drill, then the drill is going to veer off to the side. So we're going to do the spot drilling by selecting the chamfer tool. And I already have it on here. So yeah, and then we also have to change it to flood. And we leave it at 10,000 RPM, go to geometry, and then choose all the holes. But we can take a shortcut and just do select all the same diameter. And then go to heights, change all of this to model top. It's just a preference thing, as long as it makes sense. All right, so for the bottom height, we need to do some calculations because clearly we want to 5/1000 chamfer on the radius. So this is the hole, and we want to add a 5/1000 chamfer. Like, so this is going to be 5/1000. And we're using a 90-degree tool or chamfer mill. So it's going to, if we cut it, the cross section in half, it's going to be 45, 45, 90. And that basically means that these two sides are going to be identical. So if we know what the radius of this is, then we know how far deep down we need the chamfer to go. And the diameter of a rivet hole is 0.163. And then because both sides is 5/1000, that's basically just 100th. That's going to be 0.173. And we want the radius, not the diameter, so we're going to have to divide that by 2. And then we get 0.0865 as this, yeah, right there. And because these two sides are identical, the depth of this is going to be 0.0865. And because it's a chamfer or spot drill, we need a counter bore and wait 45 thousandths per second. Yeah. So the chamfer is going to be up to this diameter, but also go down 5 thousandths of an inch to get that 5 thousandths chamfer. Yeah. So now we're going to do the drill, and we're going to use 0.152 because it's less than 0.163, which is the rivetable size. And we're going to use flood. And if we go to our speeds and feeds chart, 152 has a speed of 5,655. And then our speed is going to, IVT is going to be 245 thousandths. 43. 2040. Right. And then for whole faces, like for the spot drill, we're gonna do like same diameter, so it's just faster that way. And for heights, I put them all as model top. And for bottom height, we need to make sure that there's enough space for the reamer. So the reamer actually has a pointed edge, it's not actually flat. So we need to account for that. And we do that by letting the drill go deeper than the actual reamer so that the reamer doesn't break. And for bottom height, we're going to basically make it go through at least the thickness of this first plate, which is going to be a 16th. So it's and then tip through bottom, and then we're gonna go through. And for drilling, we could just wrap it out. Okay, so for reaming, you're gonna basically go back to the drill and choose the reamer, which is there, and then change it back to flood. And for reamer, we just set it as 4,000 RPM. And then for whole faces, we're gonna do what basically the same as other operations. And select whole diameter. And for heights, I changed them all to model top. And again, it has to go through the stock, so it's gonna be then drill tip through bottom because it's a pointed edge, so it needs to make sure that the pointed edge goes all the way through and not just like if it stops at here, then there's gonna be like a angle here where it's not completely drilled through. So the number is going to be 300. And then for reaming, it'll be 300 feet out. So for contour, we're gonna go to 2D contour, and this step is basically to create like the shape of the gusset so we know what or like where to cut out. So we're going to use the spot drill. Go back to flood. And basically select all of these shapes. All right, so after you select all the shapes, you're gonna go to tangible extension and change it to 0.0625. And the reason we have this is because when we're going through like if we leave it at 0, it's going to go over, the spot is going to go over here, and instead of cutting the edge of here, it'll basically create like a chamfer on here instead. So it basically moves the not contour, spot drill or chamfer mill a little bit over to the side so that the edge of the contour or the edge of the chamfer will basically be the edge of the gusset, if that makes sense. There's also tabs, and we use these if there's like bigger parts where it's just not feasible to have like contours, and it's honestly just faster to cut. So it's kind of self-explanatory. We just choose the width and the height, and then we can choose how far apart the tabs will be. And we can also do them manually, just choosing the locations. But yeah, if we need to use tabs, ask me and I'll do my best to help with that. And then for contouring, we're gonna go back to model top. Sorry, the heights. And then for bottom height, we're gonna go down 300ths. And yeah, we leave this. Or actually, choose that where, or choose composition type as where instead of in computer. And the rest looks good. Oh, I forgot to get rid of the tabs. So before, it kind of looked weird because it looked like the chamfer or contour looked like it was going inside of the part. So yeah, after I saved it and then changed the height here to select a contour, it it looks better on the cam. So yeah. And now for managing your tools, you have to go to Tool Library, go to the file that you're on, and renumber them. Well, mine's already renumbered, so it's fine, but just a reminder. And what you're going to do is go to post process and make sure to have the right comment, and I believe this is the one we use. And make sure to press use G0 for the mini mill. And yeah, you could post, and then make sure to print the setup sheet, and yeah, that's it for the cam for the gusset.